Okay, so I'm back again with another yapping video for, but this time for Granblue Fantasy. So I'm just gonna quickly flash the notepad real quick so you guys know a half decent idea of what I'm gonna talk about. I don't even know if you can see it all that well on the tiny part of the screen that I left it in, but if you can, I'm just gonna leave it up for a little bit. I structured this one a little bit more, so hopefully the yapping isn't any over like an hour and a half. But this one's still gonna be like my melty yap videos. It's still gonna be pretty long. And honestly, I'm thinking of like getting like more Granblue Fantasy friends and reaching out more in the community to talk to more people about this game because I really, really do like it. It's just for like the last year and a half, I've just been playing it, pretty much lurking in my crew chat. But maybe I'll talk to more people in VC about this game more in the general community. Anyway, the idea right now for these yapping videos, let me take the notepad down, is that I do like one every week on like Monday and Tuesday, and I upload it either on Wednesday night or the night of. And every other week we'll have a melty one. So last week was a melty one and a Granblue Fantasy one. And then the week after is just going to be Granblue Fantasy, or maybe whatever else I want to talk about. Like, if I get really, really, really into Counterside again, maybe I'll make a yapping video about Counterside and my experiences and thoughts on that game, but it's not... The idea is every other week is Melty, and the alternating week will be either Granblue Fantasy or something else. You're probably gonna get also just like more melty talk videos from me that are just shorter, that aren't as yappy and more streamlined, and probably with the script, because I have been slacking on a Melty Blood H-Kkohaku guide for almost years at this point. I really do want to finish it. I really want to make something for this character, and yeah, I will make a Melty Blood Kkohaku guide. I will fix the wiki eventually. And hopefully I make more just general my thoughts and stuff for Melty as well. The length of the Melty yapping videos that aren't for the Monday and Tuesday ones that are for the week, they're gonna vary just by nature due to the fact that, well, how much I have to say about something for Melty, it just depends on what the topic is. Like, I feel like for my next yapping video, I'm probably going to talk about why H-Moon is dog water. And I could talk about that for like 3 hours, frankly. But time probably makes it so I only have to talk about it for like an hour or two before I get interrupted. For the betterment of everyone. However, when it comes to stuff like just community stuff, or if I think I have an opinion on something, it'd probably only be like a 10-minute yap video, because I'll try to structure these a little bit more. Like, if you took a little peek at the notepad when I flashed it earlier, it was a lot more well written than the ones that I normally made, like the one I made for the last yapping video. Also, if you guys don't get the memo yet, you're not supposed to be looking at this screen. If I'm pulling something up on the screen, like I have a few images that I want to show, like while talking about the yapping for today, I'll pull it up in a manner that you can see it, and then I'll read what it's on it. It's mostly just a few text posts, but just in case if you're like actively looking at the screen expecting for there to be something interesting, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this video is going to be me bar farming while farming the event, because I already finished most of the event. I already pulled 16 boxes. I just need to do the last 4 boxes. And if I get annoyed by the clicking sound of farming's Proto Bahamut, I probably will turn the game audio off as well. Also, the last yapping video I did, I understood that there was a audio issue. You could barely hear anything that wasn't my voice, and that was because the week prior I had turned down desktop audio for a different reason. Ideally, I turned it back up, so you should be able to hear me now. I should probably do like more extensive checking on my audio levels before each and every single stream. I think like last week or something, I did a penny big breakaway race where my mic was muted on OBS the entire time, and I just did not notice that at all, which is kind of embarrassing, frankly. But hey, it happens. Now let's get to the topic of my yapping today, which is Granblue Fantasy Anniversary. It's March 5th already, and the anniversary is technically on the 10th, but the celebration lasts a little bit beforehand, which is right now. It starts like the last week of February, really, and it extends all to the end of the month. So right now we have the Grand Blue Fantasy anniversary story, which is the Heart of the Flame, or whatever. I'm not gonna explain the story to you. It's live right now, and there's no real level gate, so you can just farm it or read it yourself. But I'm just gonna explain my thoughts on the story and what we know so far. These are subject to change due to the fact that the event is again ongoing, and we know for a fact that next week, exactly 7 days from when I'm recording this video, we're gonna get the final part of the story, which will probably change my opinions on it. But right now, as of now, I really like the story. However, I've never been like the most critical of Grand Blue Fantasy story, even like this super early stuff with the monsters are attacking every Fate episode nonsense. I still like that stuff, so I'm probably not like the best person to go to determine if this event story was actually good TM. And I was reading a little bit of the Reddit while I was at work, and it seems like the thoughts on this anniversary event are pretty mixed. Although I feel like Grand Blue Fantasy's lore in general tends to divide the community on whether they even like it or not. Like a lot of the people are not really happy with the whole everything is in separate timelines because we can't be bothered to try to tie together over like what 10 years of events at this point, which is understandable. But honestly, I really like the basic stuff that Grand Blue Fantasy goes for. Maybe it's because my standards are super low, but I just love the power of friendship stuff that the Grand Blue Fantasy has going on. But I just want to talk about like the major lore drops that came out with this story half. Just notes on spoiler warning for the Grand Blue Fantasy anniversary story. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you can just read it in the game right now. It's only like an hour-long read. It's not all that long. It's only an hour long if you don't use like the script thing to just read it fast. I was reading it at work while helping people at Dunkin' Donuts, so it took me an hour to read it because of that. But I feel like if you're reading it like actively, it probably only take you like 30 minutes to read the 2 parts right now. Okay, so the first talking point that I pulled up was that we know for a fact now of how the Omnipotent in Grand Blue Fantasy got split in two. And apparently, the reason he got split in two is hilarious. Bahamut was just chilling in the Sky Realms, not even the Sky Realms, because this was before they even existed, frankly. This was when the Earth was still in a Pangea state, and it was all just one giant landmass, and people were traveling across it or something. And then he's just chilling there, and then eventually a bunch of people decided that, hey, we should probably kill God because he is just sitting there doing nothing, and it's kind of scary. And then they're like, and the people are like, wait, that's actually kind of stupid. Why would you want to kill God? He's right there. And then, okay, I'm spoiling too much of the event, but I find it really funny that for all these years we've been complaining about Bahamut being a deadbeat dad, and now for once it's revealed that he did actually nothing wrong. It's just more that he did absolutely nothing in the first place, and he just sort of let himself get split into two. Right now, Cedric bros, it's so over. That last half of the event with his backstory, my eyes almost popped out of my skull while I was at work reading it. I was like, what the? That stuff that Phoenix says to him, it is like, huh? It's oh, okay. I probably should explain what he says for the people who I know some people who don't even play Grand Blue Fantasy watch my videos because they just watch it at work. Thank you, Zay, for doing that. I don't know why, but thank you for doing it. So on the other hand, it's like so pretty much the quick TLDR for those of you who don't care about being spoiled about Grand Blue Fantasy or just do not plan on reading the event seriously, is that Cedric is revealed to be the fiance of Sabrina, another new character of the event. And because of the fact that he was engaged to a hot girl, you know how the Gooners in Grand Blue Fantasy are going to be like because of that. It's like all the people who hate Stan and Eliza, and how people are still dog on Stan despite him being my goat. So a lot of people were just hating him for first week of the event. Like, damn, this guy needs to die in the part 2 of the event. And then I was hoping that that he didn't die, and the monkey paw curled. I wanted the Gooners to be wrong so hard, but turns out he's actually just an awful person from from the very little we know about him. But I think what they're trying to do story-wise is paint an interesting parallel between him and the Sky Dwellers of the ancient past, who were like super scared of Bahamut because he had all this power. He wasn't really doing anything wrong with it, but he could do something wrong with it. He could just destroy the Sky Realm on a whim. And they were so scared of him that they decided to set out and kill him. And I think he's supposed to mirror that for the current times, because the Eternals and the Grand Cypher crew are so hilariously like more powerful than most of the other characters in the verse right now. So I feel like he's supposed to mirror that, because there's no real omnipotent anymore, because he's been fractured and so many people are doing his job for him right now. He's not important right now. He's just chilling in the verse, telling Vern to do his job for him. But because of that, because of the way he's written it and the stuff that's such because of the stuff that Hawhead, who is supposed to be Phoenix 2.0, says to him at the very end of the event, that stuff was wild, man. Why did she say that? because she says that to him, and because he agrees that he should just marry Sabrina in order to get more political power, his stocks are so low. He looks like such a complete dirtbag. But I feel like they're gonna redeem him, mainly because like while I was reading the Reddit comments, I actually found like a few Reddit comics that I want to show up on the screen that I will also read out loud. Let me pull up the very first one. Yeah, this is Murazaki too on Reddit. He said this, on Cedric's motivations, I wonder how many people knows the obvious parallel between it and the ancient Sky Dwellers being afraid of the omnipotent. And while it might come off as foolish and short-sighted, which it is still regardless very much a thing you see in reality. Especially in international politics, small countries are small power who do not like the fact that their stability is essentially based on the whims of a higher power in superpower nations. And it was really smart. Like, this guy's smart. He's the one who gave me the idea of what I said earlier. I think I forgot that he gave me the idea. So now I'm giving him proper credit. So this guy said something about it that was pretty smart. And but there's also this comment. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm doing a lot more event farming than bar farming right now. But alright, so this is my theory about what is going to be the most important part in part 3. So this is by Speedy Fox 4. It's love. I know it sounds stupid, but hear me out. This is a follow-up on the first event, which happens to be one of the focuses was Richard's infatuation with Therese. I'm sorry for the Melty Masons logo covering it real quick. I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm still reading it out loud for those of you who are watching the background, so you're not missing anything. Stan and Eliza are in the event, and they just so happen to be the very first official couple in Grand Blue Fantasy. Ladiva's in the event, whose whole thing is about love. All sorts of love, actually. We were first introduced to the kingdom of Radolith with the knowledge that there was going to be a wedding soon. From the description of the journal page for Playable Sabrina, which came out like 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, wise, brave, and reckless, a woman once gave all and lost all. But when her time comes again, the swordswoman finds new strength in the love that awakens within her. So this is that line is pretty much my hope that Cedric is not he can't go down, bros. He has to stop Gooners because anyone who posted one of those Cedric must die because I want some Rena memes, they has to be proven wrong. It's a personal thing at this point. Back to reading what he's actually saying. Abram Bellin revolted against God because the omnipotent killed his wife. The Phoenix would regularly remind Abram Bellin about his wife to make sure she stays in his memory and heart. Not sure if it counts as love, but Magus is determined to bring back Astaroth no matter the cost. The Nanashi, who is a part of the Phoenix, was curious about the relationship between Sabrina and Cedric. Despite it looking like the love he has for Sabrina is false, Cedric did still propose on Phoenix's suggestion. Speaking of Cedric, his hatred of the strong manifested after his mother died, who, as far as we can tell, he did love. From the preview of part 3, it says love endures to the present even 6,000 years later. Yada, yada, yada. So pretty much what the whole post is trying to say is, oh, my music stopped. You know, I'll just play Nedrick. Nell World music. He has Ambient 3 coming out, Ambient 2 coming out soon. And if Penny's Big Breakaway OST is gonna fail me, I'll just use that music right now. So it seems like the whole event is hinging on love because because it's just they love the game, they love the players, and it just seems to be like the main tie between the entire event. So my theory of what's going to happen in part 3 is like, honestly, I don't have a super good idea because there's so many things that can happen. But my prediction for the end of the event is that Cedric is going to make up with Sabrina, and that whack stuff that was said to him earlier is going to be proven wrong. That's mostly just hopeless thinking, not hopeful thinking. But my guess is that Bremelin's wife is going to be resurrected somehow, or she's going to get tied into the Phoenix, or Nanashi is going to take her form somehow. And I feel like this time Bremelin and the Phoenix are both going to actually get the death that they're seeking for. A very common theory among the community who likes the event right now is that Nanashi and I forget her name. I think it's Hurix. I can't remember. It's the 7th Ennead summon that's not actually an Ennead summon. The idea is that those two are two parts of Phoenix, the part that wants to survive and the part that wants to die. That's not respectively, by the way, but the other way around. And that they're going and they're trying to convince people in order to either kill or protect the Phoenix. I think that's probably it, but again, we could get, I'm not that good with stories. I'm not like the most read person on the internet, and while that feels right, I feel like it's missing a little bit of something. And we also still don't know why the Phoenix needed Bremelin in order to kill the Omnipotent. So there's still a whole bunch of stuff to the event that I just have no idea on. Hopefully we get to see it. Bro, I hope the end of the event is good because I really like what's going on so far. But like, you know what? I just have nothing else to say about the event. We've been yapping about it for like 12 minutes. But let's talk about the main point of me making this video. Why is it broken? What happened? What happened? Why is it not letting me play the event? This is so weird. Anyway, the second thing I wrote on my notepad is my plans for Annie. With the anniversary coming around, that means we're going to be getting a whole bunch of free pulls. And we're also going to be getting like a bar, a sunstone, maybe an Evilite. Those are a toss-up, frankly. But we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff, and that means if you want to go primal in anything, or you want to advance in any of your grids or spark any important characters, now is the time to do so. And this is where I go into my account on my second tab of Granblue Fantasy and showcase what I've been working on. I think I mentioned it in my last Granblue Fantasy Yapping video. Okay, I hope the game works now and it allows me to actually run the event. Oh, it's because I don't have any of the Fire Plume fossils. I am blind. Okay. I have to do nightmares now. That's why. I knew I was forgetting something. Right now, like I said before, my plan is to go Primal Earth for real this time. My grids for Earth, I showed them last time, they're kind of dogwood. They're kind of getting away with the fact that Celestial Sword is a thing. Like, I have most of the pieces. I have a second Aerial Fist that I have not barred yet. I'm still farming some bars so I can be ready to just fully go Galleon Primal. Because I have, you can see that I have Galleon. So I have one Galleon staff. I still need 2 more. And once I spark those 2, I will be good for my Primal Earth. And also, I have almost 150 gold moons. Yeah, I have 131 gold moons. And after my 2 sparks on my on Annie, I should be good. So the idea is, right now, I'm going to double spark the anniversary flashes back to back. So the first spark is going to be 100 discounted, assuming they do the same thing they did last year, where they gave us like 100 pulls on flash and 100 pulls on the general leg and the general flash, so 200 free pulls total guaranteed. Then we get another day off, which is going to be anywhere from 10 to 30, maybe 100 if I like get super lucky. But the idea is that on the first flash, I spark my galleon staff. On the second flash, it's going to be a toss-up, because going back to this tab and looking at my weapons, I only have 2 Zeta spears. I got super lucky with overriders, and I didn't even have to spark it at all. I just flat out sacked 2 on her launch banner on free pulls, which is very, very nice. They've been carrying my fire, along with all the other fire stuff I have, frankly. But I still want 1 more to be safe, because it seems like having 3 is just going to be very important in the future. Because word on the street is that we might be getting, we might be kicking off the 6 dragon summons from our sub summon slots and putting other stuff like Providence in there, which might become important in the future. So I want to just be I want to be safe with my fire. I just want to get the third Exo Fire Summon. However, there also comes the fact that Galleon Primal is very all in or nothing. I flat out need 3 Galleon staffs in order to be able to run it. So if I only spark 1 on the general one, because if I remember correctly, it's the specific flash and then the general one. I think that's how it works for anniversary months, but I forget all the time. There's like it's once a year, and I have been playing for what, like 4 years? I forget. So the idea was that on my first one, I spark a Galleon staff, and I try to sack the Zeta Spear, and on the second one, on the general one, again, I try to sack the Zeta Spear or the third Galleon staff, and I just spark the other. But I know for a fact there's going to be like a new broken Flash character this year. I don't remember if we actually get a Flash Grand this month. I think we always do, because I think 3 years ago it was Mugen that was on the Flash, and he was pretty strong for the time. So I believe he's going to be important again, but it's like I can barely remember. So hopefully I get them. It's like a 50% chance, I believe, if we're talking pure odds on rolling on a rate up. Hopefully I don't have to spark them. Hopefully they're not core. They're probably not fire, but again, I'm trying to get lucky here. Like if I have to spark 2 Galleon stats and just save another spark for a Fire Exalto weapon, I'll do that. But I ideally want to be fully ready in both my Earth and my Fire post anniversary. Next thing I have on my notepad is my next plan is in order to get more Hexo clears. You can see that I have done Hexo in, if I pull it up here, oh, they moved it to the, I've done a single clear. I still need a few more because I want to prep up my Fa Zero. I don't have not Valentine's, but Christmas Noah, which is the real issue though, because it looks like for Fire he's pretty important. Like I've seen clears of Fire running without Christmas Noah, and that they have to sack Wimless to bring out Frox immediately, but I don't know how safe those are, because if those aren't like super safe, I might have to bite the bullet and Anti-Tix Christmas Noah, because I wanted to Anti-Tix H-Licks because she's pretty, but it might look like that's not in the cards for me anymore. It depends on how anniversary goes, frankly. I don't think we're going to be getting any like super important Fire characters, frankly, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's just the copium talking and me not wanting to spark any super important Fire characters. But I think the current crew of Percival, Zeta, and Aladan is going to be like that for like, I feel like for like almost half a year. Like we should be safe for till like New Year's, frankly. Outside of like the Rise of Beast free character and maybe Nanashi, if she's the playable that comes with the final story chapter updates, but I feel like it should be fine. Also, I have it on the notepad that I should talk about my plans for my other elements that aren't Earth, because like outside weapon wise for Earth, I'm kind of missing characters. I'm kind of curious on if I will top off this Earth Spark on the leg at the end of the month. I don't think I will, because pulling on leg for me right now is completely uninteresting, because I have 2 of every single important leg weapon minus Luo Fist, and I'm not super serious about light, so it's like, why would I go that hard on the leg for Luo Fist and Sindafon? However, I'm missing Sadala in my Earth, and I don't have 3-0 at 130 yet, so it's kind of tempting in order to go and just spark Sadala and maybe try to spark her and maybe get Sack Kumhira or something, because those are the only Zodiacs that I'm missing, I believe, that are actually worth anything. Let me go to the Zodiac right now. I'm missing like the other I'm missing some of the Valentine's version. Like I'm missing Valentine, Sadala, and I think a few summer ones. But as of now, I have every single like main Zodiac minus Kumhira and Sadala. Yeah, I think I sacked Anila when I was sparking something else last anniversary. So when it comes to Earth, it looks like I have to subtix Earth Olivia, and then Anitix. I don't have to Anitix anything for Earth, frankly. And maybe have to like plan a spark out for Sadala on a leg fest. For other elements, let me turn this off. I feel like I'm just gonna look for like important characters. Like my water needs Wamdis pretty badly for Musion and hard content purposes, but other than that, it looks like my water is kind of fine. I farmed up 100 Hacelia last month, and she's been carrying my water ever since. I got lucky with Paila on New Year's, so I know I'm pronouncing a whole bunch of names wrong, but like, my bad, bros. So I got lucky on New Year's with Paila, and I didn't have to spark her. And honestly, my water is pretty good. I'm not super hurting for anything. Ever since Europa, FLB, and Hacelia, and Vajra, and all the other characters I have, I'm pretty good water character-wise for water. I just need to farm Scroddingers, frankly. And honestly, all my revans that aren't Siete, I still need to farm a whole bunch of them. Because I'm going Primal Earth soon, I'm almost done with Kame. You can see that I have the 500 Veritas. That's all I need to finish him up and FLB him and get his 4th skill. I already have the card bot. And because I'm going Primal Earth, the idea is I probably have to just farm Lobelia to 100 anyway. So gonna do that. He's my next target for... I don't think I'll unlock his skill 4 though, because I've never seen somebody use it like intentionally for anything right now. Actually, I think I saw it in like the Dread Barrage in like one video, so I probably farm him next. When it comes, but Wind, I'm completely fine on. I kind of want Kaguya. I kind of want all the Flash characters that Wind has, but I don't play Wind almost ever outside of like one-hit KO content and like Tower, so it's fine. Same deal with Light. My Light characters are kind of meh, but I have H Florence and I have like the Leg Buster set up, so I don't care super much. Like, I'd like Halloween Mugen, but it's not super serious. Dark, I have Fedio Lick and Ray. I'm good enough on Dark. Maybe if I farm a 150 Seox, it would be cool, but again, I feel like the only elements that I care super much, I care a lot about going Primal is Fire and Earth right now. Everything else is sort of like I'm okay with being ass at this element for right now. Maybe in like another year when I have more resources, I will just consider going Primal Water, but as of now, it's just not in the cards. I guess for my big hopes and dreams for anniversary, on like who I want on the Grand Flash for this year. Personally, I really wanted Grand Lyria. It doesn't look like we're gonna get Grand Lyria though. Not for like another year. But since Grand Lyria is not happening, and Howhet or whatever her name is, she seems to be like the villain Phoenix that we're not getting. She's Howhet looks like she might be like a Fire Grand in like the future though, if they decide to actually make her playable whatsoever. But if they don't, yeah, understandable. Raviel is probably going to be the Dark S. She's either going to be a Dark Grand and take Serial's place as the Primarch. Because if you don't know, Dark has no male Grand, so the joke is that Serial SSR is never going to happen, because if they made him, they'd make him a Grand, and there can't be any Dark male SSR Grands. So the joke is Magus or Raviel are going to instead take that spot. And Atom, I didn't really like him, but his writing in the event made me kind of come around on him. So he's cool. I want to see him as a regular SSR. I want to see all the Enneads as regular SSRs, frankly. They all seem pretty interesting. And honestly, the kits for them would probably go pretty fun too. Also, I just want to see how they interact with the crew, like story-wise, after the event's over. I'm sure we're going to get like a whole bunch of event cleanup after next month. Not next month, next week after they finish the event, but it's going to be interesting. But I guess I don't really have any plans or hopes for Annie. Like we know Primal Transcendence is coming, so I need to, like, I already have a dupe Agni for my fire. I need a dupe Titan. Or I probably have to spend 30 moons on like the Primal Globe thing to transcend my Titan down the line. And we know Magna 3 is coming, but I don't really care much about Magna 3. I still have to farm Revans, and I feel like the Magna 3 weapons aren't going to have as big as an effect on any element that isn't fire, because Fire Magna is just so hilariously dog water that it getting anything that's like half decent from Magna 3 is going to completely shake it up the way it's played. But I feel like most of the other Magnas are completely fine, frankly. It's just that people don't want to do revans, and which is understandable. I don't want to do revans either, but like you have the tools right now to do every single piece of content in the game with revans and Magna Grid. So it's not like, it's kind of funny how for a while people were saying that Granblue Fantasy is a lot more grid focused than it is character focused, and then revans and content in the last 2 or 3 years kind of wrap it back around to being character focused again. Like, of course, it's a spectrum. You still need a good grid in order to support the characters that you want to use. Like, if you had this lineup but you didn't have this grid, you wouldn't be able to bar farm, etc. But it's just interesting, frankly. Like, I don't have any hopes for content. Like, Fa Zero is he looks interesting. I want to do him, but I need to do more hexachromatic high mark and finish my draconic fire harp before I start bothering with him. And honestly, other than units, I am completely fine with Granblue Fantasy in its current state. I find it fun to log in every day, do my dailies, have a little bit of fun, full autoing stuff. I guess the biggest thing that they could add that would make me jump for joy is like making it easier to change weapons in a grid, because doing it one by one is annoying. But content wise, geez, man, I'm pretty good with Granblue Fantasy in its current state. I'm sure they're gonna make me very excited and hype in like the next week though, as we get more and more information. Like the stream's on Saturday, and I'm not gonna make a Yap video about that because I'm pretty sure it would just be the stuff that everyone else is saying. But I'm happy with the way the game is right now, so I don't see myself disliking the game, frankly. So that's honestly all I have to yap about for Granblue Fantasy. I thought this was going to be longer than it was, honestly. Man, wow, it's only 30 minutes. I got all that done in 30 minutes. I thought this was going to be like an hour. But I guess, in general, I'm just more content with Granblue Fantasy's current states than I am with my Melty play. So it makes sense that I guess I have less to say about it. So I'm just going to end the yapping video here. Also, I just realized that Imagine Dragons came on, and shoot, that means this video is gonna get like Omega copyright strike, like not just from Nelward but from an actual huge studio, which is annoying. Man, maybe I can mute the video in that part. Or maybe I messed up audio again and you can barely hear the video. Ideally, that's what happens. Man, that's annoying though. Well, thanks for listening to me yap about Grand Blue Fantasy for 30 minutes once again. And see you guys next week or maybe on Friday when I decide to either talk about Melty Blood or I decide to play some Penny Big's Breakaway on stream and do some attempts. Because I'm trying to make up for my run that was 3 hours long by trying to get sub 2 by learning all the levels. So that's it. See you guys.